Folk, yeah.
Yeah. Talking about a scene, it's what we're doing. Come and check it out, it's what we're all about. 561 Music!
Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
And I'm Francisco. No, I'm
All
Hector.
right.
I'm Hector. No,
I could do that. Francisco Diaz.
Yeah. No. James. What was James?
You sound like a conquistador.
James was Jaime Diaz when he did the street painting with us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, what have we been up to? We've had we're getting into that busy season now, aren't we?
I don't think we're getting into it. I think we are in the busy season.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's pretty ridiculous.
That's fair.
Right now.
And not just because we're playing a lot, like just everything is crazy right now.
It is.
The roads are bananas and there's just people everywhere. But, and there's good and bad things about that. The good thing being we have tons of work.
Yes.
Yeah. And, so we played at Oasis twice in a row, which was fun, actually. I had a good time.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people there this weekend.
Yeah.
It was pretty packed this weekend.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then we played the Irish Fest.
That was fun.
Yeah. That was like
fun.
a sea of green, wasn't it?
That was my dry run for the Sunfest show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw you busting some moves up.
Trying to work out my pedals and stuff and getting everything dialed in so that I don't get frustrated at something.
No, totally. And I think that was wise. And I saw James doing the same thing, striking some poses. I need to get a longer cord because I have this specialized cord for my weird pedal board, and it's really not that long. So,
but are you ever not playing the drum, though?
I mean, the same amount as James.
I got you.
Because, so I could do some stuff. I've been thinking about trying to do a thing where it's like wireless,
Yeah.
That would be the ideal situation.
Well, I was going to try some new things and stuff on that stage, figuring it was a nice big stage. And the little rubber cap at the bottom of the peg broke through, and I didn't have a spare. So every time I picked up my bass and set it back down, the metal would hit the concrete, and it would just go right through the speakers. It was terrible. Terrible.
But then you got to use my little portal thing that I bought you for Christmas.
On Saturday night. I did.
And what's the verdict?
I love it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So I bought Hector. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see me. If you can't, just like a circular thing like that. And it's wood, and it kind of goes up into a little bit of a semicircle, and it has a hole in it, and it sort of looks a bit like an ashtray, but it's for the end of
it's a little flying saucer.
Bass.
Yeah, it's got a rubber pad on the bottom, and the idea is I put the pin in there, and it sits on the stage, and it doesn't slide around, as opposed to when the rubber on the pin is gone. I could set it on a stage and be playing, and my bass is just running away always. So it actually saved my life. I don't imagine it's one of those things that I use every time because it does restrict me from being able to move. The peg has to stay there. But I was definitely thrilled that I had it on Saturday because it saved my life from having it slide around everywhere. I wish I would have thought of it before we played the Irish Fest.
Oh yeah,
I could have just set it up there and I wouldn't have that issue.
So I've been taking it really easy this week because I lost my voice over the weekend, which was pretty brutal. So I've been trying to take care of it and drinking lots of water and, resting up. And I had just like always, I've had a million band practices and stuff going on, but I just didn't sing.
Yeah, you got, because we've got Meg O'Malley's tomorrow night, and we've got Irish Brigade Friday night, and you've got the duo at Square Grouper Saturday. Yeah. And then we've got Patty Max Saturday night, and then we got Patty Max all day Sunday. So I was calculating that out today. I was talking to James about it. You guys have a little bit more than I do because you have the Square Grouper, but I think you guys have something like between tomorrow and Sunday, you have like 28 hours of music you're being playing.
Yeah.
It's insane, man.
You know what?
And I'm like at like 27, I think, or no. If you're 28, I'm 25. Yeah.
That's
it's
cool,
insane.
Though. I mean,
living the life, man. Living the life.
Luckily, I enjoy it, so we're okay. So we have Cher and Joey from Hoochie Digs with us today. How's it going, guys?
Doing good. We're glad to be here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So could you just tell us a little bit about your early musical life, where you guys are from, and how you got into music? And let's start with you, Cher.
Okay, so that's going to be easy because there's not a whole lot.
Gotcha.
So I went to Catholic school, and pretty much since first grade, I was in the Catholic school choir. Yeah. So we, played at church, sang on Sunday mornings, and
we get a lot of people who say that, and it was a similar thing with me. I did a lot of singing in the church choir too.
Yeah. So then I went to public school, but I still stayed every Sunday going and singing in the choir. Up through even as an adult, I would sing in the Catholic church choir. So was about it.
What kind of stuff were you singing? Was it like old stuff, like Palestrina type stuff?
Oh,
or?
depending on which church. So I went to different churches. I would move for hating the church for one reason. I would move to another church. God forgive me. And and so some of them, like the first one, it was called Our Lady of Prompt Succor. So that's where I went kindergarten through 8th grade.
Gotcha.
And that was our choir director was Miss Volkamp. She also owned the Baskin and Robbins.
Miss Volkamp.
Yes, Miss
Wow.
Volkamp. And she
That's
would bring
a
us
great
ice cream every other time we had practice after school.
Was she nice?
She was very kind. She had very pink
She sounds
lipstick.
the opposite of nice.
She was kind. She was very kind.
Oh,
She
fantastic.
had pink lipstick, really bright pink, and almost looked like a wig, kind of like a fro.
Like a beehive type situation.
Yes, exactly.
That's so cool.
So she was great, but that was just it was just children's. We had little leaflets of music, and it was children's choir music. But in high school, I sang kind of in a folk group that had I played the tambourine, and there were a lot of guitars, and it was awesome. That was at Sacred Heart Church.
Oh, sick.
So that was in high school, and then
So was that involved with the church and services, or was it just that you met the people there?
yes, it was church services. So and my
cool,
mom
okay.
actually sang along with me. So
that's cool.
It was kind of fun.
And where is this all going on? Where are you from?
This was Alexandria is central Louisiana, and Pineville is where Sacred Heart was, but they're called the Twin Cities.
Okay.
So we most recently moved from Pineville,
Gotcha.
Louisiana. So yeah, depending on the mass, it was different. All different types of music. Some serious and like the nuns would sing, and then some kind of folky and cool.
That's cool. Have you ever had less private musical lessons?
No, I haven't. Once I wanted to take piano at Our Lady of Prompt Succor from Sister Pat.
Is it called Our Lady of Prompt Succor?
Yes, quick help.
What does that mean?
Our Lady of Prompt Succor, pray for us. Hasten to our help.
Okay.
It's
gotcha.
quick help. It's the
I
yeah,
got you.
prompt
SUCCOUR.
That's
whatever
it.
is. Yeah, I got you now. I was so confused.
the nuns that were in the convent at St. Louis Cathedral in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So they all prayed that the church wouldn't burn whenever there was the fire in New Orleans.
Right.
So that's who we prayed to for quick help, was that Our Lady of Prompt Succor is the one that saved the cathedral.
I just had a conversation. I have a friend of mine from Columbia that's been with me for a few weeks here. We're going to be working on a mural here soon, and we were just talking about basically like patron saints and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I went to Catholic school, grew up in that whole genre and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And he his mom is like pretty religious, and so we
Yeah.
were having a conversation literally today in the car. We were having a conversation where like everything he says to his mom, she's like, "Oh, I'll pray for you for that." Or I'll pray. So I'm in the process of flipping a house. I'm working on a house. I'm flipping it.
Yeah.
He's been helping me work on it. And he said something to her, and she's like, "Oh, we'll pray to the patron saint of whatever it was,
Yes.
finance or whatever."
Building houses.
Yeah, whatever it
Saint
was.
Joseph.
Yeah, and then it was like, well, I'll do a little prayer for him. I'll light a little candle, and I'm like, it just reminded me of my grandmother. My grandmother was always like that. There was always a saint for everything.
Oh, absolutely.
There's
Yeah.
a saint for everything.
Yes, there is. It's very conveniently.
Pretty polytheistic or monotheistic religion.
Yes.
Sure. So Joey, how did you find yourself getting into music?
As a small kid, Dad was in the Air Force.
Right.
So we managed to end up in Okinawa, Japan. It's a
Right.
little island. I was never good at making friends.
Right. Okay.
So got an acoustic guitar. I still have it.
yeah.
It's a Yamaha from 83 or 84.
That's awesome.
I bet it.
but,
I mean, is it the Yamaha makes some really nice guitars?
It was cool. The neck broke off at some point later on in life, rock and rolling and doing that stuff, and the equipment fell on it, broke it, put it back on. It's rocking. But yeah, started acoustic guitar. That was in the mid '80s, and we moved back to Louisiana, and again in the room with the acoustic guitar, no friends. And
Well,
then
it was very important to me like that with the guitar. It was it definitely was my closest ally in my teenage years. I was kind of shy and not super outgoing too, and definitely it's nice to have it there. Yeah.
Then it was Live Without a Net. 5150 Van Halen came out. Sammy
Sure.
Hagar saw it. Said, Dad, can I get an electric guitar? I want an electric guitar."
Yeah.
So I did that for a while.
Nice.
Did-
Did
did
you
end up-
have lessons?
For a short time, the acoustic guitar I did have lessons, but after that, I didn't make friends, but some friends made me and took me into their band. So that's through high school. From there on, it's the same thing. Yeah, we're rock and roll. We're playing in a band.
Yeah,
so
cool. What kind of music did your parents listen to?
I was force-fed Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, King Crimson.
Okay.
Mom was a country person, so she mixed a little bit of the country, but Dad had the control of the stereo, so it was metal.
Yeah.
It was metal.
No, that's cool though. I mean, at least they listened to music and they liked it.
All the time.
And also like, it sounds like they were reasonably pretty supportive too of you wanting to do it. That's awesome. Yeah. So when did you start first sort of playing out? Like, it sounds like you remind me of me in the sense that it was like always going to be the thing a little bit.
It was right before finishing high school. We had the band, right? So and we were playing in bars before we were allowed to drink in bars.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But that was the thing. We were going to be rock stars.
Yeah,
so we played all around the South, and it was good for a while. But
what was the band called?
Gypsy Blue.
It was Gypsy Blue.
Yeah,
okay,
man.
I didn't want to put.
We
my
were
foot
cool.
in it.
We started doing this 90, 91, early 90s. We kind of, some of the buddies were hair metal guys, and me and other guys were more metal, more Iron Maiden and Metallica were coming up through that.
Gosh, yeah.
So we had this.
More like thrash.
Yeah, it was interesting and it was cool, but it was at the time of grunge, right?
Yeah.
So we had no chance. We were not grunge. The rest of the world was grunge. But it was fun.
Everything went punk, didn't it? It just it switched like to this sort of the flashiness was no longer considered cool.
Right.
Yeah. Totally. Which I get. Here, I mean, I'm a big fan of metal, and I listen to it. I listen to it a lot, and I play it and stuff, and I enjoy it because I'm a teacher, and it's a lot more interesting to teach someone something like that than Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
But I get it in terms of the aesthetic because there's something elitist about it, and then grunge and punk is more sort of
rebellious,
accepting, and yeah. But yeah, man. So that's cool though. Have you got a record? Did you record?
We did. The band that I joined had just put out a cassette tape in '90. And then we made a CD, and we were Retrospect Records was a thing that took bands like that in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
and they found it. So they found us, took our CD from '94,
cool,
and started printing and selling copies before we knew they were doing it. But it put us in. We played. They had a stage at Rocklahoma, one of the big festivals. So we played in 2008. They got us, it got us there. So it was pretty cool. So
that's awesome.
It was like real bands, and we're like on the side stage over here. It's pretty cool.
Is it online these days?
It was for a while on YouTube. There was lots of footage, but I haven't seen any in a while.
I'm gonna have to dig around after this, see if I can come up with anything. So your name is very interesting. Hoochie Digs. What does that mean?
All right, so Joe and I were trying to figure out what we were going to call ourselves. So it kind of.
I hate to jump in. How long have you and Joe known?
I know, that's the thing.
Okay.
That's the thing.
That's
So I actually met Joe whenever he was in Gypsy Blue. So
Gotcha.
that was early 90s, and I was in college, and I started bartending, which was not very characteristic of me having gone to Catholic school. So it was like totally not what I would do. But I saw an ad in the paper for a bartender for a classic rock bar that was opening up called the Bayou.
Yeah.
So
Of course.
I applied, and next thing I knew, I was getting my liquor license and going over there with some baggy clothes on.
Yeah.
And then I think they said, okay, we're gonna put y'all in tank tops, and little by little, I was in my Daisy Dukes and serving up mugs of beer to everybody. But Joe,
well, that's classic, Catholic school go.
Oh yeah,
good,
of course,
gone bad.
Of course, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So Joe came in with Gypsy Blue, like they were one of the first bands that played, and I remember them having a note because some of the guys were underage that were playing in the band. So I went on to follow them. So I would like travel with them and everything.
Nice.
And so kind of had a crush on a guy or two in the band. Joe had a girlfriend, so he ended up marrying that gal.
Right.
And so I went on, finished college, started teaching, got married. He got married. We each had a slew of kids. I had 4, he had 3. And
Nice.
20 years later, so I hear that the band kind of got back together, or a couple of them at least. And so I was newly divorced. He was too. And
There you go.
it just was like that. And so
It's how lovely that you've known each other for so long. That's
it's
brilliant.
true. We have.
You know, one of the things that I always say about me and my wife is that probably the biggest thing that that we have is that we're just like best mates. You
Yes,
know?
absolutely.
And it just goes so far, because when all else fails, we still enjoy just hanging around with each other. You know
That's
what I
it.
mean?
That's it.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm so glad that you guys found each other. That's wonderful.
Joe was so quiet back in the day in Gypsy Blue. He never said a word. So I never knew him at all. Like, I didn't know him. So I did know him, like, from way back then, but didn't know much about him.
Sure, yeah.
But went to see him that night, and that was it. Like, we just met up, and it just, like, we just kind of got together right away.
Fantastic.
So, like,
and how did the music come out of this situation?
I got kind of burnt out playing because we were gigging. And by that time, this was straight just covers, a couple of different bands doing the same stuff, and it was like,
yeah.
and so I settled down, and then she was wanting me to do stuff by myself. I can't sing. I don't sing, so we just
Right.
It's like, what you got? Can you sing anything?
like-
Can you do something?
Yeah,
So,
there you
so-
go.
yeah.
So we threw a few covers in. We first started playing, wrote some songs, and you know, it was all right. So we just kept it going.
That's really
So-
cool. When you record your music, do you do it yourself, or do you go to a studio to record?
Those two, the first two CDs were recorded in the studio. The studio we had that still functions in Alexandria, Louisiana. It's
Where I
still
used
there.
to go party, where they used to practice.
We got
Gypsy Blue
we
used to
got the
practice
band
there.
in '91. We
Yeah.
got the building.
Cool.
It was a rehearsal place, and it's turned into a pretty nice studio over the
that's
years.
awesome.
We've lived there, but the most recent recording we've done here in the condo, all us.
Yeah, I mean, I
So-
think these days it's very difficult to not these days. You know, all of the equipment's there. If you have the patience, you can get it done at home
Yeah.
these days. You know,
Right.
for sure. The so like what kind of stuff do you use? Are you on Logic, or are you doing?
No, Pro Tools.
Pro Tools.
I'm paying for my subscription. Pro Tools, and then I have a Universal Audio.
Sure.
I got the 4-banger. What's the
Like Apollo or something
it's,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's a pretty good interface.
Yeah,
And,
totally.
That I have an SE Electronics T2 mic. I know it's kind of weird. It's for vocals. That's what I use it for.
Gotcha.
And then, but for the guitars, SM81.
Yeah, man. Wicked.
Pretty-
I love hearing
so-
about people's setups,
Yeah.
because
It's-
I just
Because you're a gear
I
nerd.
spend all of my time doing that stuff. Yeah. And my spare bedroom, which I rather kind of ostentatiously call the studio in the house, is just absolutely heaving with gear. At some point, I'm going to move it all out of there. I've been plotting putting another like building up in the backyard. It's got to happen eventually. It's
There
got
you
to
go.
happen eventually. I'm busting out of that room. I could potentially take up another room in the house, but at that point, it's like, well, my poor wife, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically our decor is
Yeah,
guitars. That's
yeah.
the theme in the house. And the
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a
It's
half
all
stack
visible.
sitting behind the sofa. Yeah, just right there.
Well,
in the middle of the house.
it's okay when it's like the two of you.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like in Ben and
You're right.
mine's case, like we're the musicians and the wives are not. So
yeah, it's a little unfair in that situation.
Right.
Christy doesn't mind it. She's
Yeah.
cool with it. But
Yeah.
that's awesome though that you guys have, you're both into it, so it doesn't even really come up as a problem like at all.
right.
Never. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I love he plays around the house constantly. He just the guitar's always on him and he's always playing. So it's just totally normal. We don't bother with it, and it looks pretty nice actually. And his
it's not bad.
collection's growing.
It's not so bad.
His latest one he got a few months ago.
When did you
Yeah.
record your first record?
2015.
2015, 2017, and then just a few months ago, finished
Yeah.
just a few months ago, the latest one.
Gotcha. Yeah. Did you find that the forced kind of break of like a year was helpful for writing? Like how did you guys spend your
that's
pandemic?
Hideous.
that's the trouble.
Pandemic
Like
did not do us right.
it did. It did for me, just because I still have my phone, my Google
full of
Photos stuff. I got 10, 15 second, 30-second clips. I can't go through that stuff. I mean, I got tons and tons of stuff. I have plenty of material.
We might have put together 2 songs during that whole time.
Yeah, we didn't put didn't combine them two, but I had little bits of this and little bits of that. So.
It was a difficult time. There's a lot of anxiety. It's difficult to be just relax and be creative. But I wrote a couple of tunes at that time as well. Because I was just thinking about it. It's like 15, 17, and then it would have been if it had been on course. But then there's that, and then that makes sense. Right. Yeah. So, have you got any plans for recording in the future? Is there more songs on the horizon?
There's already more songs. I was really hoping to just kick her out of my band and do some like obnoxious acoustic guitar instrumental stuff, and I don't know. That's tough. So we'll see. But
I didn't even know that he was stopping that project.
Well, it's tough. I got
the real like.
Well, I'm ready.
Yeah, I know
when I can add the lyrics.
Yeah, I know
I'm
ready. He's always ready. So we'll see. There will be more stuff one way or the other. So,
wicked.
Yeah.
What do you guys find that you write about in like? Would you say that there's a theme that comes up more than others?
I think at the beginning it was definitely all love songs.
Okay.
So the first "My Baby Gone" is all love songs. Like it was, we would always joke about that.
I think that's the case for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Their first album's like all these love songs.
Yeah.
She takes care of all the lyrics. I don't get involved. She writes, so it's all that.
Yeah,
so.
and I just get, when he plays, I just kind of get the feel of the music when he plays the song, and I pretty much know instantly what the song's going to be about.
Yeah.
So it's always that way. And I tried actually, one of the first songs we wrote, I think it was the third one. It's called One. That's on the first album, I think. I actually dreamed some lyrics and I wrote them down. And the next morning, it was like, again, we hadn't written much and we didn't know what we were doing. And I said, Joe, can you please put some music to this? I think I got a good one. And he looked at it and he was like, no, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. So his bandmate from Gypsy Blue, I went to him and said, look, can you do this? And I'm going to give it to him for Christmas. So that's how that went. So Alan Rivers was the writer of the music for that one.
Gotcha.
But since then, it's just been, he plays and then.
Have you ever tried to play a guitar yourself?
Actually, I took guitar lessons when I was at Our Lady of Prompt Succor.
Okay, yeah.
From old dude, David Pratt.
Oh, yeah.
But my nails were too long, and he was like, cut your nails. I maybe made it through 6 months, and
she stuck some violin on, which is the second record.
Really?
A
little bit.
She squeaked out some notes on there.
Yeah, my daughter Zoe was learning the fiddle, and she did pretty well, but she was learning from an old Cajun guy that played by ear.
Sure.
And so she played for maybe 2 or 3 years, and I always would try to show her off and on. And then finally she's like, I'm done with this, Mom. And so I was like, no, I can't see it go. I got to try to play myself. So I took for probably 4 or 5 years.
Oh, nice.
But that's not any time, as you know.
Sure.
Well, the violin's a difficult instrument to play. The fiddle,
Yeah.
I mean, I've got one at home, and I scratch away on it sometimes, but I can't claim to be any good at it.
Yeah.
But so the Cajun influence on your music and writing, how would you say that? Do you guys have French ancestry? Like, how's that work?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have 3 grandparents that all spoke French, and then Joe's got a papa that spoke French as well. So we grew up, hearing French all the time, and that's what inspired me to be a French teacher. And then, as we were writing, when we started the first album, we came up with La Louisiana, which is a love song for Louisiana.
Yeah.
And it's the language is endearing to me, and I just thought we need to have more French music. So we did, in the most recent album, we have Idea.
That's lovely.
Another one with French lyrics. So
I love French too. I think it's a beautiful language. Yeah.
So
and I'm English, so it's pretty close, But that's where I always used to go on vacation when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Do you find when you're writing with French lyrics versus English lyrics, like do you find it different or more difficult, or like harder to find the right words or anything, or it just kind of comes to you the way the English ones do?
It's not really hard. It's just about the same, because you're just looking for a sort of rhyming word that'll sound right, and if you have enough vocabulary, then you can
Sure.
you can put it
I'm just
together.
curious because
Yeah.
I'm Cuban. So I speak fluent Spanish, and
Wow.
I listen to a lot of Spanish music, and sometimes like you're saying, like they reach for the word that rhymes. And sometimes I'm listening to it,
Yeah.
and I speak Spanish, and I
Yes.
understand Spanish, and I'm listening to the Spanish words, but like
Right.
they say something in Spanish, and it's like for the sake of rhyming, and for some reason in my head I start thinking about it in English, and I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. Why would they say
Yeah,
that?
right,
Like,
right.
I find myself fighting the two languages sometimes when I'm
Yes.
listening to music.
Right.
And it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting when Hector's speaking Spanish, it's like he doesn't understand people talking English around him. You can say anything you want about you. James and I, we noticed it one time when you're chatting away with someone in Spanish. We just started talking trash about you. See if you noticed. You were just in Spanish mode.
Oh,
You
yeah.
go-
I zone out.
Love it.
Yeah,
I zone
yeah.
out,
That's
yeah.
good.
It was really funny.
Now I have to like listen for it.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
We weren't saying anything that bad. We just wanted to see if it would work, and it did.
Who's saying anything about kick this guy out of the band? He's terrible.
So, outside of love songs, have you gone and taken any sort of like forays into different subject matter?
Well, it just kind of happened that the Freedom album formed by the different songs that we wrote. They were more about sadness and more about the heaviness of the world and
Sure.
how rough and tough it is to try to survive in the world. So Freedom is just about when we
struggle.
looked at what we had, like one of the songs is called Suffering, and it's pretty sad. It's pretty heavy.
Right.
And when we looked at everything and combined it, with balanced with the ones that like Freedom, the song
Yeah.
that's on the album, Freedom, it looked like it was the theme of freedom from suffering and, by any means, like, even in death, we're freed from
Sure.
the suffering of the world, whether it be through prayer, meditation, quiet, and just, being apart from
From the suffering.
exactly. So
I tell you what, it's like suffering is life in a way,
yeah,
It's what it's
absolutely.
about. And it is also intrinsically linked with love. And, it's all that stuff is all
Yeah.
mixed together.
Yes.
I write a lot about suffering myself.
Yes. And then Whitewater kind of was born the same way. I mean, it was, freedom it was freeing from the suffering, but, Whitewater is like being in the midst of it all. And,
Yeah.
what do we do? And that's
Sure.
kind of how this one came. And it was, all perfect timing because the songs all came from what's going on, pretty much what's going on in the world now. So,
Shit, that's awesome.
yeah. So,
Yeah, I've got to pay some really much more close attention to the lyrics, and I'm going to definitely do that after we get out of here. I think now, though, would be a wonderful time to hear you play a couple of tunes. Does that work for you?
okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This one's Unfolded.
Digging back in time, way back in my mind, holding hands with what thought life had to hold. Every venture gives, then a new one lives. Can't stay in place, all we know is change. Life gives me something I've never seen. You give me what I have never dreamed. Faded pages turn, memories unfold. How was I to know that you would grab my soul? Life is bought and sold, days put on the show. How was I to know that you'd make my music flow? Whoa, 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 whoa. just the other day, paved another way. 7 kids ago, had just one to know, made my way around this day yet unfound. Life gives me what I have never seen. You give me what I have never dreamed. Faded pages turn, memories unfold. How was I to know that you would grab my soul? Life is bought and sold, days put on the show. How was I to know that you would make my music flow? Memories unfold. How was I to know that you would grab my soul? Life is bought and sold, days put on the show. But how was I to know that you'd make my music grow? This one's called Let's Fly. Baby, don't you think you ought to take another road and leave the world behind? Living loaded heavy with the weight of all you care makes me wanna cry. Funny when you make some time to set aside the word, mine and slow the grind. Something comes along and steals a piece of once belonged, and now you're chasing time. You don't have to try to walk through fire and ice, and all they want you to do you. Take it off the clock and let the rhythm make you rock, and lay your hand in mine. Forget about tomorrow now and shake away the sorrow, 'cause we're gonna fly. Let me take you up and over all the bother to a place inside. Gonna lose your mind and it's a really awesome time, we're never gonna die. You don't have to try to walk through fire and ice, and all they want you to do you. It's 89. Well, you're fine. We don't wanna die. Me and you, let's fly. You through fire and ice and all they want you to do you.
561 Music and 561 Music Festival is sponsored by Stenger, Greene and Feiner. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them, and then I'm going to tell you how they're helping. So Stenger, Greene and Feiner is the personal injury law firm you can trust to provide the elite representation you deserve. As your trusted personal injury attorneys, you can count on them to fight for your rights from start to finish. They have affordable services. Professional legal aid shouldn't cost a fortune. That's why, with their injury lawyers, you don't pay a penny unless they win your case. Their team of personal injury attorneys has the resources and experience needed to litigate with big insurance companies and deliver the results you want, achieving maximum financial compensation to cover the cost of your accident-related injuries and damages, from medical bills and prescription medication to car repairs and lost wages. Whatever type of personal injury case you bring them, their injury lawyer team can handle it. If you can't visit one of their injury lawyer locations, don't sweat it. Their 100% virtual communication options enable them to handle your case without requiring an in-person visit. Getting the justice you deserve has never been easier. To be real, we're incredibly thankful for them because without them, we wouldn't be able to put the festival on. They have sponsored the festival, and it means that we can pay the bands. It means we can afford to advertise the festival so people know it's happening. And really, it just means we can do it. So the fact that they've reached out to us and they're helping out in the community, it means a huge amount to us. And we just want to extend our thanks to them. And it doesn't hurt that they're a great business as well. They are very easy to find online. Just go to www.injurylawyers.com. It's as simple as that, injurylawyers.com. So you'll be able to find them very easily. You won't be disappointed with their service. They're fantastic. Thank you so much, Stenger, Greene and Feiner. You really have made a difference for us, and you make a difference for a lot of people every day. Backsaver LLC Therapy is located in West Palm Beach, Florida, providing chiropractic care, massage therapy, and physical therapy. They are 561 Music sponsors, and they're helping us put this festival on. We couldn't be more grateful for them. They've done it before, and it's just a huge help. So if you have anything going on with your back in general and you need some chiropractic done, I don't know if that's how you say it, chiropractic. If you need a chiropractor, you could do a lot worse than Backsaver. They're absolutely a fantastic company. I know Hector's had some work done by them and they do a fantastic job. If you've been hurt in a slip and fall accident, Backsaver LLC will help you with your injuries. The worst thing about slip and fall accidents is you never see them coming. The slip and fall itself can be frightening, and the injuries sustained can be detrimental. If you twist and fall in a bad or awkward position, your body will suffer the consequences. Injuries sustained in a slip and fall accident can be quite costly when it comes to paying medical professionals for treatments and pain relief. Backsaver LLC in West Palm Beach works to help patients recover quickly, physically, and also financially. It's one of those things that when you need it, you really need it. And if you don't think you need it, maybe you do. They're incredibly kind to sponsor the festival. Like I said before, we need all the help we can get putting this thing on. So thank you so much for sponsoring it and helping us with this podcast. We're just trying to bring local music to local people and build up the scene around here. And Backsaver's helping us do it. So thank you so much, guys. Give them a call today at 561-684-8774. That's 561-684-8774. Root. Now, Oasis Root Kava Bar is in Sea Grape Square on Indiantown Rd. And it is a kava bar. If you don't know anything about kava, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water. And it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, that brings people together. You all take a shell of kava and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It's has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a Kava bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of Kava bars. Some of them are more like a club, you know, there's sort of like black light and EDM playing. And some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby-foot as they call it in France. And yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy, and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank you very, very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Route Kava Bar. 561 Music is sponsored by Live Music Community. It's where we film the podcast that you're listening to right now, and it's also where I work. Gavin, Hector's son, was a student here for a long time, and in many ways he's the musician he is today because of the teachers at Live Music Community. We taught him not only about his instrument, but also about being in a band, and his band, Unemployed Youth, accomplished a lot of goals, mostly band etiquette, how to work together, and all of the nitty-gritty that goes into being in a band on a day-to-day basis. The student signs up for lessons, learns their instrument, joins a real band, and decides the direction it goes in. And we can take people from very young age, 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to 80. There's no age limit here. We run an adult program for people who want to be in a band as adults, but really the main focus is on the kids and getting them playing together and in bands. We are also a studio, a live stream venue. We can record audio or video. The Killbillies live album, Warts and All, was recorded here. It was recorded during a live stream that we did during COVID. Justin had a great idea to record live streams during COVID. A ton of bands came in and it was a real success. Outside of that, we can record albums, we can help you with your EPK, and we have full audio-visual capabilities here. LMC is in Palm Beach Gardens on the northwest corner of Military Trail and North Lake Boulevard. And if you go to livemusiccommunity.com, you have all the information you'll need right there. Okay, so we were just listening to an ad for Live Music Community, which is where we're sitting right now. And I wondered, do you guys have any advice for upcoming musicians by any chance?
Man, yeah. Get really good at audio and video and marketing and YouTube. No, just be in a band. I don't know. Just try. Go for it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Learn your instrument, whatever it is, to the best of your ability. Be obsessive about it, and then get out there.
Absolutely.
I think it's important to be confident in the music that you write. And I think that you shouldn't be afraid to share your original work.
I agree with that. So there's someone who I wish that you could tell that to, who I teach.
I'm sitting right here, Ben.
No, I relate to that. And some people, one of the things that this person who I know says is that they don't want to have to go through that whole period of seeing as they're kind of like, snobby is not the right word. They have a very discerning taste in music.
Yeah.
And they're just worried that they have to fight their way through writing bad songs until they get to good ones. But I say, like, the fact that they have discerning taste in music in the first place means they probably won't write a bunch of bad songs first, It's like
right.
I mean, sure, there is a certain amount of practice involved, but I suppose it's all to do with whether you find that fun or not. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy it, period.
Yeah.
So whether it's your music or someone else's, if you enjoy it, that's the start. But yeah,
absolutely. What would you say that you enjoy most about music?
Just that, me, a guitar, just making noise, whatever that, finding a sound, a chord, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the calming thing to me.
Yeah.
So
practice it's a great meditation. It's a way to separate. I stopped drinking a while back, and then I really managed to kind of re-engage with practicing, and as a time to myself, clear the head. It's I find it a very peaceful thing to do. Enjoy it a lot. Do you guys practice? I always used to ask this question. I haven't been asking it very much. Do you practice like individually?
Oh, I practice individually all the time. I'll focus too. I'll just get stuff cleaned up, and I'll like to work on that. And then even when I don't have a guitar, I'll maybe trying to mess with some theory. I want to learn something, so I practice myself a lot.
You run through scales and things like
yeah,
that?
Scales, like
Nice.
exercises, do exercises
Sure.
and stuff, but also just try to get better at physically playing the guitar.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's monotonous and boring, and just it doesn't sound good. But
I've been trying to get
that's-
I've been trying to get some diminished licks that I can use in bluegrass, like just sort of shoehorn some diminished stuff
There you
in there.
go.
That's what
Cool.
I've been up to recently. Trying to because you end up with this kind of vernacular and you get so tired of it, and you need to expand it.
That's that's kind of, matter of fact, one of the songs on our new record, the River Rouge song, was kind of that way. I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm trying to learn. I'm not a good bluegrass player. I like the stuff. I like it. I listen to it some, but never played it much. So
Sure.
I got some guy's video up, and I'm trying to mess with it. She's like, "That sounds great. It needs to be a song." I'm like, it's his song, but so and it's like kind of tweak on it a little bit and turn it into something that was sort of like a bluegrass song.
Yeah.
You got to follow a guy on YouTube named Banjo Ben.
Banjo Ben.
Yeah, our banjo player follows him, and he does online lessons on YouTube. Obviously banjo, but he also has a whole like guitar lesson thing that he has that I've been starting to go through and stuff. And I'm not a guitar player by any means, but I'm going through it because it's helping me with my bass playing. And
you have been doing it?
I'm not far in it. I'm like probably less than 5 or 6, but I have been, but I have been kind of noodling with it here and there. But he has like you're saying, like all these like rudimentaries and all these like different, scales and things like that. And if you like bluegrass and you want to learn a little bit more, Banjo
He's definitely
Ben,
not a bad guy to check out.
No, he's really cool.
Yeah, he does the camps. He's one of those guys, His camps and everything. Okay. So in Louisiana, is bluegrass like a thing?
A little bit. It's not as much as in some places where they're like crazy about it. There's mostly small guys that get together.
Yeah,
and actually in DeVille,
there's Jamboree in the Ponds.
Yep,
they have
cool.
And they get some really good players come through there. And
from where you're from in Louisiana, is Zydeco a thing?
Oh yes, Zydeco and Cajun music, two different things, but very big thing.
I went through a Zydeco phase. I mean, I'm still in it, really. I was going
to say, like, have you actually outgrown it yet? I don't think so.
No, I think it's so cool. And coming from someone who knows more about it than me, what's the difference between Zydeco and Cajun music?
Well, Zydeco has the washboard.
Yeah,
it's about the beat.
Yeah,
the drum beat.
But like the dancing to it and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's about the drum. There's a distinctive drum. And I don't know the terminology because I'm not a drummer, but it goes with Zydeco. It's a certain beat that has fits with the Zydeco.
Yeah, totally.
And then country music too is huge in Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So where in Louisiana is that? Is it like in central Louisiana? Is it?
Yes, it's the
right
in the
middle.
Yeah, the center.
It's not close to anything.
Yeah, we call it Sin Law. Central Louisiana.
Okay, gotcha. Do you think just being surrounded by Zydeco and Cajun music has informed your music?
Maybe a little, but more so just of what it means. It's like all ethnic music of whatever it is. Like we went to Finland House here in Lantana.
Yeah.
And so there was a band, right?
Yeah.
The guys got a accordion.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
The guys. And people in dresses are spinning each other around, and they're yelling at you on the microphone, doing all kind of. It's Cajun
like
music. It's whatever. It's just all
the same.
It's just cultural music. It's what it is. So it's that feeling that still people get together, play some music, and have a good time and express whatever it is they're feeling. So yeah.
And that's what I love most about music. When you ask that, is connection with people. I love. We played this past weekend, and we stayed and talked for so long. They were kicking us out with the people that had been there, the audience, and they're so kind. And that's my goal with music, is to connect and to help people to not feel alone, with the words of the songs, help everybody know that we're kind of all in the same boat together, and
I agree.
Make it easier.
I think they're like songs about suffering and like that are relatable in the sense that you can be like, okay, it's not just me then. They're just that reaching across reaching over to people and being like, we know it's a thing. It happens to everyone because a problem shared. It definitely takes some of the weight off.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing any cover gigs and things like that? Or are you just doing like original stuff now?
Just original stuff.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
excellent. How
Love
busy
it.
would you say you guys are? Do you get to play out much?
Not very busy, but
That's,
part of the reason we're
That's one of
only
the
going to play
drawbacks
original
of
music,
playing only
and
original.
also we still have lives. We do,
Yep.
I mean, I work, and she likes
we like to travel a lot too, but he retires in 4 years, and I'm
Okay.
retired, but I still sub teach. So
Gotcha.
we like to have a little bit of time to some time on the weekends to wander and
Yeah.
do things. But
Yeah.
but it really is not easy to find a place that will allow you to only play your own songs. And Joe made the decision after the pandemic that we were going to throw out the covers that we were doing, prior to that for 8 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like love it or leave it type of attitude. And so, who does accept
Well,
this?
it's
we're,
whatever-
we're ever so grateful.
we have a thing that we do. It's kind of mellow,
Yeah.
and it has a place.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
just want to find the places. We don't want to force our way in anywhere.
and we have
Just,
loved every
there's
place
There's
that
a
we
place for
played.
us somewhere.
Yeah.
And
You know what?
we go to those places.
What that has brought me in mind of is this musician who I know, and we organised a gig all the way down in Pompano, but I feel like there could be a lot more around here. And also my friend Dominic, who does the singer-songwriter
we know
night
Dominic.
up here. Yeah, there needs to be more stuff like that, because the bar don't care whether you play covers or originals. They just care that people are coming in and they like the music.
Drinking and spending money.
So you can put 3 or
That's
4.
right.
If you can do it with, the way you can do it is just switch out the one cover band for 3 or 4 original acts, and then it's, ends up basically having the same effect.
Yeah.
I think that tried and true sort of cover bands maybe are a little bit less of a risk for certain people.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why they go that route. But I, it's Hunter was on here recently and was like, my friend Hunter Hutchings was on here, and he was saying that and he's right, and I think this too, is that the scene is really what you make it. So it's about it's not just about trying to find places that will have you. It's about organizing shows,
Right.
doing it, getting it done. And 561 Music, we try and organize shows when we can. We've been too busy to do it lately. I mean, we've got the festival, but the pop-up ones we haven't had time. But we're definitely going to get back into that. And
well, Ricky does a lot of that stuff, and he's gonna he's gonna be partnering with us here soon. So
Yeah, exactly,
So we're
yeah.
actually gonna start having 561 Music stuff.
yeah, do you know
constantly.
Ricky Balouf?
Yes, we love Ricky and
Oh,
also
Ricky B.
Dominic.
Yeah, okay,
And
yeah.
we played with them at the Songwriters Night at
Oh yeah.
Northwood.
I thought
Okay.
that's how.
Okay.
But
Yes.
when I read the thing, I figured that's how.
Yeah, so Ricky's been organizing a lot of those types of events, and over at AAYC in Delray
Yes.
and things like that, like different types of events.
Right.
And we're working with him right now, working towards sometime in the very not too distant future. We have the festival coming up here at the end of the month, but then
Right.
pretty much right after that, Ricky and Ricky's getting together with us, and we're gonna basically shift his Long Live the Scene stuff
Yes.
and turn that into 561 Music events. And so Ricky's going
Awesome.
to kind of be a part of us and part of this,
Yeah.
and kind of
Fantastic.
organize those things for us.
And in
Since
turn, we
just-
will be a part of Ricky.
we will be
we appreciate
Yeah.
appreciate you all
Yeah.
so much.
Well, the whole point of the podcast, the podcast, started a little over 3 years ago, and the whole point of it was to create opportunities for local musicians to help grow the scene. And so, if we're not creating opportunities, then we're not doing what we said we were going to do. So,
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's definitely, in our forefront of our heads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt about it. And looking forward to the festival. You think you'll be able to make it out?
Joe,
She will not be, because she will not be here.
I'm
so.
going back to Louisiana for Easter, but
Ah,
Joe will
gotcha.
be. So
Okay.
he'll
All right,
be
that's not
solo.
bad.
He'll be
50%.
solo. That's it. That's it. And he'll bring my friend probably. So,
Oh, cool.
Tiff.
yeah.
Yeah, she might. I might let her come along.
Yep. So she'll go in my place.
So how do you guys go about? You jokingly brought it up, but it's definitely worth talking about as a factor of being a musician. And I understand why you've been a little sarcastic about it, 100%. But how do you guys promote yourselves? Like, who's in charge of the social media and all that stuff?
Not me. I'm a horrible
I
promoter
am.
of anything. Yes.
Yeah, I do my best with help from my I have twin girls that are 20 that
Oh, there you
go
go.
to UL in Lafayette. So they help me, especially with the TikTok part. But
Yeah.
also, and I have a son. Well, all our kids are between 18 and 27.
Oh,
so they're
nice.
all help. We have
They're
seven
ripe for
seven
that.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all whispering in my ear and helping me with all that. And we just started doing the YouTube thing with making videos.
Shorts and
Probably,
stuff.
a year ago, we started with our first video of Idea, and that kind of kicked off. That's where we took the pictures with the, with his big red guitar and all
Cool.
underneath the big tree.
So you guys have been doing TikTok. You've been
Well,
Well,
not
not doing
100%.
Tik- yeah,
Mostly
she-
just
she
kind of
just shares
announcing
stuff
things, that,
on- yeah.
little videos and stuff.
I try to get her to be TikTok famous and do some dances, but
Yeah.
she won't do it. No, she won't do it.
No. Yeah, that's probably the least worked with site that.
Well, I feel like, I mean, I'm at an age where TikTok, it might be the point at which, like, I'll go on it and I've done some stuff on it, but I'm not like,
Right.
I'm not the same way about it that I
Old
was
Ben,
with
it's that
Facebook or
age. The age is
Instagram,
old.
you know?
Right.
Like,
It's
just,
hilarious though.
Yeah.
I won't allow myself to watch more than 10 things on
I
there
hear ya.
because,
I hear
but
ya.
it's real funny.
My wife goes down the rabbit hole. Like
That's why I
every
can't-
night she
that's why I can't
lays
do
in
that.
bed and she just
No.
scrolls for like an hour before she
If you
goes
need
to
to
sleep.
cheer up though, put
It's
that thing
hilarious.
on and
I
look
just
at
like
it. 'Cause
I
it's
just
funny.
listen to it. I don't even watch it. I just listen to what she has going on, and I'm just laughing because some of the stuff is so absurd.
No, and people are making boku money off of that.
yeah, for sure. Oh, I love it. Cool money. That's brilliant. These t-shirts are cool.
I know.
I like
Folk-
I like the dark green tie-dye.
That's one of my girls I have two artist girls, and one of them is in ad design in Lafayette, so she did that up for us.
Oh, wicked.
And then the one that's 27, teaches art at University of North Texas in Denton, and she did the cover of this one. So
That's very handy, isn't it?
even though I'm an artist myself,
Right,
but
yeah,
but I
yeah.
put
She
it on
pawns
other
it off
people.
on the kids. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
I
the
kinda-
kids are earning
yeah.
their keep. I'm impressed.
We don't
Yeah.
have to pay them.
Oh, no, I did pay him actually,
No, that's
Not
really
much.
cool.
but they were happy.
Fair wages, $5.
Yeah, we got to get your kids doing stuff for Killbillies.
No, we're good. We're good.
What's happening with the drum kit? Is Gavin? Is we going to end up buying that one off Gavin? What's happening with that?
Yeah. I don't know if he'll have his custom set yet, but either way, we'll use his Mapex set,
Yeah.
and then we'll buy it off of him once he gets his permanent one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, are there any future goals for the band?
Well, I don't know. It's hard now just because that record was a lot. It took a lot of time and we didn't.
Yeah.
So now just more gigs. We can play a little bit more now.
Yeah,
so.
but we just joined the Broward Folk Club
Yeah.
a couple months ago, and we were able to
cool.
play the folk festival, folk and acoustic music festival.
I need to know more about
in
Broward
Davie.
Folk Club. Sounds
Yeah,
cool.
It's pretty awesome, and that opened some doors for us in South Florida that we had not yet looked at. We had been north only,
Sure.
and so we were able to play at several places since we just in the last 2 months that encourage original music down there.
Very interesting.
So, yeah, and the folk festival is fantastic, and we hope to. We're playing the Spring Frolic, that's coming up in Brooksville on April 6th.
In Brooksville,
Yeah,
really?
we're going. Okay, that's right. I forgot
So,
about that.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
We always
hopefully
Is that
we'll
the
get,
campgrounds there?
yes.
Yeah, we used to
Yeah.
do a festival up there. We used to
We did
do
a couple of them
what
up
was
there.
It called again?
We did Spring Break
Uh-huh.
and we did Riverhawk.
Yeah, that's it.
But
yeah.
I guess the people that were doing it, from what I understand, the guy that was running it doesn't own the campground, just was like leasing it for those events.
Right.
And then someone else came in and bought the campgrounds from the previous owner, and then said they didn't want any more festivals there, and now they're doing festivals themselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's crazy.
the
Yeah, it's
old
crazy.
stitch up.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I didn't realize they were doing festivals there.
Well, yeah,
That's good.
we better hit him up, man. See if
Yeah.
we can get on that.
So
one.
the one you did, the folk festival one
Right.
that you did, was that like October or November or something like that?
That was
Or
in February, and
was
Yeah,
in February.
that was-
yes,
Yeah.
and what happened was we kind of just dove in once we joined the club.
Mhm.
I said right away, how can I get involved? I know it's too late because it was 2 weeks before the festival.
Okay.
And I said, what can we do? Can we sell our merch there and all? And she said, yeah, you can have a booth, and then we would like you to do a workshop. So I did a songwriting workshop, but then we got called the next week and they said, we have somebody that dropped out and we'd like y'all to play in their place. So we
That's
were able
cool.
to play that fast. Like, so that was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was down in Davie.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's another. I'll have to find it and forward it to you. But I just recently started going down the rabbit hole of finding festivals.
Yeah.
Not just local Florida ones, but just
Is that like-
festivals
Oh, yeah.
in general, folk festivals
Skunk
and
Ape.
stuff
Right.
like that. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
bunch of them. There's one, and there's one in. I want to say it's up near like central northern Florida, near the Swanee area.
Yeah.
And actually, I think it's at Swanee. But it's in August or something, and it's a folk festival. I think they're past the deadline for applying for it.
Yes.
But it's a whole like folk festival and stuff that I just stumbled
Right.
across.
I know that they're up.
That's
What's
awesome.
that big festival that they do up there? There's like a
Muddy Roots? No, that's up
No.
in Tennessee.
I think it's called
Swanee. I think they do the Swanee Festival here.
Yes,
yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
that.
Yeah, there's like several of them. But yeah, I just started recently going down that rabbit hole. Of course, I'm stumbling across all these festivals, and I'm going, that one looks cool. Oh, the deadline was yesterday.
No,
that
no,
one
no,
looks
I
cool.
have my-
Oh, the deadline was
I got my
last week.
calendar marked. So I
Oh,
know
there
some
Oh,
you
I
of
just started that. Yeah, I just started that.
June, I believe, is a lot of them are.
So what I'm hearing is we're going to see you at all the
Gotcha.
festivals.
Hopefully.
We're going to be all the same festivals.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
that's
that be
it.
nice?
That's it. That sounds
I'd love
great.
to see you guys out in the
Hell
That'd be
yeah.
out and
awesome.
about.
Yes.
So have you ever toured? Have you ever done any like sort of like long way away type touring?
No, not as this in
yeah.
this.
You can't
There's
count the
no-
Mexico City that we play music on the
Oh,
porch
yeah,
day.
we-
We searched down a guitar and did a
I
song.
reckon you can count that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we will. We'll count it. We'll count it.
But yeah, we haven't.
Gotcha.
Just when we were in Louisiana, just around that area, and then so far just around here. So
Cool.
But we will branch out eventually.
Yeah, totally. There's a lot of places to play around here. I think we're actually. It's not that there's a lot of places to play original music, but there is places to play music. And so, when I grew up, if I still lived in the village I'm from in England, I would have gone mad by now. Like,
The
there's
scene
just
is
nowhere to
shifting
play
a little
around.
bit, though, man. And because of people like Dominic and Ricky and stuff like that, the
Yes.
scene is shifting a little bit. There's a lot more, and I don't know if it's that there is a lot more, or I'm just more aware of it now. But there's definitely, it feels like in the last 5 years, we have a lot more singer songwriter nights at places. We have a lot more original nights. We have a lot more.
Jacob Tucker's doing them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like there's a lot more opportunities for people.
Do you know that guy
do-
Absolutely.
Jacob Tacos? He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
I'll get you in touch with him. He's a guy
Yeah,
up in
Jordan
Jupiter.
Laurenti's another one that
Okay.
puts some stuff together. Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Totally.
You guys sent a picture of gear. I
Yeah, let's
believe.
take a
Oh,
look
yeah.
at that.
Special gear. Let's
That's
take a look at that.
Yeah,
Take
that's
a look at
just
that.
my weirdo stuff. The acoustic guitar player guy that has to have all the bells and whistles. No, that just keeps the a little bit of consistency.
Is it for acoustic or is it just a general guitar?
Yeah, mostly for electric stuff. If you want
Gotcha.
to rock, man, it's got all the amp modelers in there. It's pretty good. It's an older unit. But yeah,
Gotcha.
it's like I said, acoustic guitar. It kind of helps with the.
I had the
with those
Line
little-
6 one from this era.
Okay, yeah,
From,
it's
around that date.
it gives a little consistency to the acoustic guitars when you plug them in.
Sure,
Because
yeah.
we still do some things that are without our PA. So
Yeah.
you do a singer-songwriters thing, or you sneak into these little places where you got to be quick.
Yeah.
It helps.
So
It
you
helps
can
a
add the
little bit.
compression and all that stuff.
Have a little bit
Yeah.
of help.
Totally. No, like I was saying to you before we were recording, I do a pretty similar thing with my pedal board. I have a compressor on there and I have a preamp on there and all my little pedals that I use too. So by the time the signal's going out, it's all they got to do is turn it up.
Yeah,
you know
right,
what I mean?
right.
That's at least
It's
that's
just-
what you hope.
Right.
Yeah.
That's that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. We were asking at the beginning, or towards the beginning, we were asking about how you guys came up with the name of the band, and I think we got sidetracked. We were talking about something
Oh, yeah.
else, and then we
Okay.
talked about how you guys met, and we never got back. We never circled
Yeah,
back to that.
let's get
I
back
know
to
it.
that.
I know because you told me earlier, but I want the world to hear it because it's a
Okay,
great
yeah.
story.
So yeah, that was when we got together. So yeah, we were starting to play music in the living room and all that, and I was like, Joe, you think we could play somewhere? And he's like, I don't know, how many songs do we have? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, well, what are we gonna call ourselves? And I said, I don't know. You think of some names, I'll think of some. And so we thought and like he didn't like any of my names. And then I was like, well, you don't have any names to
Yeah.
contribute, So one night we were going to sleep and we had thought about it. And all the ones I ran across to him, he said no. And I said, well, I said, y'all gonna play or whatever. I said, y'all gonna play tomorrow night or whatever. And I said, is Hoochie Dig gonna be over there? And he said, what'd you say? I said, Hoochie Dig. I can't remember that guy's name that you're friends with. He's gonna be there whenever y'all play. And he said, I think that's the name.
Yeah.
And then he said, what is that? What's that all about? And I said, that's what my grandma would say. My grandma Louise, that spoke French in Louisiana.
That's awesome.
She couldn't think of somebody's name, and she would say, Hoochie Dig. Is Hoochie Dig going to be over there? So we thought, okay.
Well, that's what I'm going to say now as well.
Yeah.
Adopt it. Don't know how it sounds coming
So
out.
what you call it?
Now.
Hoochie Dig.
Yeah. So hopefully you will remember that instead of forgetting it.
Yeah, no, it's a super good and catchy name. It really was. I was telling someone who I was teaching earlier about it, and they were like, "Whoa, that's a cool name." So.
But I have to say, when we got here, when we were trying to, I'm here trying to hustle and find places for us, and I had a place in Lantana for 4 years prior to us moving here. So I knew the places around, and I was like, looking around and seeing what type of musicians play where and everything. And I had asked a lot of places, and I didn't know really, we don't do agents much. Like in Louisiana,
Sure.
you don't have that. I mean, and especially in our small town.
There's a lot of them down here.
Yeah. So, I was just on my own asking people, and they thought I was nuts because, evidently they get to want to book their music. And also I was like, Joe, I think the hoochie part is scaring people off. So I think we need to drop that. And
the digs.
Yeah. And so for a while, like my daughter made a little symbol sign for us that was the digs. And then of course she made the shirts and all, and we dropped Hoochie out. And then we started getting people having us play and everything. And then they knew that we were also the Hoochie Digs because we had our albums and stuff. And they're like, well, what do you want us to put, the Digs or the Hoochie Digs? And they were like, you need to put the Hoochie Digs because you need to just be you. And I mean,
yeah, and it is 10 times better of it.
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Right.
And so that's it. I was like, never mind. So I took all the Dig stuff down. I was like, we're the Hoochie
Yeah,
Digs.
because were you just worried that like people thought it was like some kind of like a titty bar or something?
They always would think that. They were like, who's the Hoochie? You're the Hoochie. He's the Dig. It was like every time, especially in Louisiana, they're like.
It's funnier if you say he's the Hoochie.
That's right.
I know, right? So yeah, we'd always have to explain it, and we do whenever we play. We explain it right away. So
Yeah, there's a lot of that with the agents and stuff down here. There's a lot of places.
Yeah,
especially
you get
for
around
Yeah.
it. They've just
well, especially with the cover scene.
Infiltrate.
With
Yeah.
the cover scene. I mean, I get it with the original stuff. You get promoters that put nights together and things like that. But with the original scene, like.
Yeah, I think that
it's a convenience, but I could take it or leave it.
The agent thing, it's a double-edged sword because it's like $50 off every gig now but you don't have to book them. So I mean,
Right.
it's not that bad.
No.
It's we work with sort of 3 or 4 different ones, and I found that I'd say on balance I prefer it because it takes a huge.
Yeah, I mean,
because I used to work a lot harder for that 50, to get the gigs.
Yeah.
And now we just
now there's
someone's
some
almost
agents.
just trying to. All I have to do is say yes or no.
Yeah, there's some agents like Mike. Mike, you'll call him up or he'll call you up or whatever, and he represents a handful of places that we play at, and he'll just go, okay, I'm about to do 2024 calendar. Here are the dates, and he gives us like 3 places or 4 places that we play at, and he gives us the dates for the whole year. And it's like we may have to like tweak some stuff throughout the year as things change or whatever. But I'm like, how easy is that? That's totally worth $50 a gig.
It's confusing because some days I'm like bitter about it, and then other days, especially with people who I was already friends with, and but then other days I get it. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about it.
right.
So. What's next? When's the next gig?
When is the next gig? You tell me.
we're leaving for Thailand on Friday.
That's
so
so
we'll be
cool.
gone.
Wow,
We'll be
that's
gone
awesome.
for 10 days, and then when we come back, I'm going back to Louisiana for a short time for Easter, and then the 6th will be that spring frolic. And
sick. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, wonderful.
I check our social media posts for when I'm supposed to play somewhere.
I relate to that.
That's
I relate to that very much.
I tried to explain Easter to speaking of like languages.
Uh-huh.
To my Colombian friend that's here. I tried to explain Easter because he kept seeing the bunny stuff and everything and the rabbits and like all the
They don't do
chocolates.
Easter.
They do, but it's the
The Roman Catholic
it's the day. It's the day Christ rises.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
And I'm trying to explain to him that a rabbit breaks into your house and leaves like little shoots eggs out of his butt, I guess. And then, and they're chocolate. I promise they're chocolate.
delicious.
I'm trying to explain this to him, and as I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, this is the most ridiculous holiday we've ever invented.
Well, it's like a
insane.
fertility thing. It goes back to the ancient religions.
But it's absolutely insane. When I'm trying to explain it out loud, I'm like, this is actually really ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah, it's very.
So it is absolutely ridiculous. Right? It's completely bananas. And I remember when I wasn't even that old when I figured out the Easter Bunny wasn't a thing. I was like, the Easter Bunny clearly is not a thing. And
The Easter Bunny's not a thing. Holy crap! I suppose next you're going to tell me Santa's not real.
No,
Santa's real.
when I told my oldest daughter, this 27, she asked me one by one, well, what about the Tooth Fairy? What about the Easter Bunny? And the last one she said was, what about God?
Whoa, that's heavy.
Yeah, it was. It was
And
pretty
you
bad.
got to go. Well, that's that one's over my head.
Yeah, no.
That's
no,
above
you know
my
he's
pay
real,
grade.
but
Yeah.
Mom, I can't see him. Okay.
That one's above my pay grade.
Yeah, totally. Trying to have a conversation about faith with a 7-year-old is confusing.
You should try having a faith conversation with me. That's confusing.
So yeah, all right. So it's been wonderful meeting you. I think what we should do before we get out of here is Hector is going to explain to everyone what's going on with the festival.
I am. What is going on with the festival?
So it's March 30th.
The festival is March 30th. 20 bands, $10, or you can do $25 prior to and get a t-shirt ticket combo, and that'll save you basically $10 because otherwise it'll be $10 at the door plus $25 for a shirt if you want to do that. And just as a side note, speaking of shirts, I have some shirts left over from first festival and second festival, so we'll probably bring those along with us.
I've got some of them too.
So we'll blow those out for like, I don't know, $10 or something.
Yeah,
Somebody wants to
we'll
get
have some
past-
retro shirts.
retro shirts, yeah. So you can go to 561musicfest.com and get your tickets. 20 bands, $10, and you're going to see Blab Scam, Young Fiction, Killbillies, 33 Lions, Little Thing to Do, Suicide Bombers, At the Starlight, Exogen Band, Mad Mellow, Bear Maze, Killed by Florida, Butch and the Fat Dubes, Bitter Blue Jays, The Zoo Peculiar.
There you
I got it this
Very
time.
good.
Mount Sinai, Andy Styron, The Smoke Boss Militia, Billy Doom is Dead, Brayton, and Ambush.
And you got Smoke Boss Militia as well.
I did.
You did them both.
I did.
I'm
I did.
impressed.
I've been getting Andy Styron correct lately. I used to say Stryon for some reason.
Oh
I
no!
don't
Now
know.
you've done it. You're going to say.
Now I'm going to say it again. And of course, we got to thank all the sponsors for the festival: Oasis Root and Kava Bar, Live Music Community, Galliano Family Salon, Raincat Recording Studios, The Shirt Series, Backsavers Chiropractic, Law Offices of Stenger, Greene and Feiner, Matthews Brewing, and Pure Honey. All of them have all stepped up to the plate, and they've either given us some in-kind stuff or monetary sponsorship, or in Matthew's case, giving us the location and stuff. So thank you to all of you guys.
Absolutely.
We can't do it without you guys. So
And guys, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you all so
Yes,
much.
thank
Yeah,
you.
we
Thank you
enjoyed
for
it.
It
sure.
was
Thank
beautiful music, and you're very thoughtful, lovely people, and I wish you all the best with your music.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much. You too.
folk, yeah.
Take it back to scene. It's what we're doing.